I am so happy it is finally summer. I live in Canada, so it feels like the winter is never ending. And when it is finally summer, I am so happy. So I wanted to pick out some books that I'm going to prioritize reading this summer for whatever reason, if I'm really anticipating them or if they're summery books to me, whatever. But we're gonna go over those today, so let's waste no time and get into my summer TBR. Let me know in the comments down below what you will be reading this summer, and let's just get into it. I have 2 arcs that are coming out early July, so I definitely need to get to those before they come out. I'm just looking down at the description, but I have Pretty Dead Things by Kelsey Cox. I don't even remember what this is about, like, other than beauty pageant stuff. In 2000, a girl vanishes at Sherman Ranch in Texas without a trace. 2025, the annual pageant looms, bringing long-standing grudges to the surface. She fled after her sister disappeared, but now she is returning just in time for a construction crew to start digging up Sherman Ranch. Maybe looks like we're following a couple other people as well. A record-setting storm brings down the state's power grid, with everyone trapped under one roof. Scores will be settled and more than one person will end up dead. I don't know, it sounded interesting with the pageant aspect of it, so I'm excited to get to that one. And then the other arc that I have is Hot Girl Murder Club by Ashley Winstead. I'm a little nervous for this one. I read Ashley Winstead's first 2 mysteries, In My Dreams I Hold a Knife and The Last Housewife. Loved them both. Then the next 2 mysteries by her, didn't love. And then she came out with Future Saints earlier this year, which was a contemporary. Didn't really love it. Disliked more books than I've liked by Ashley Winstead at this point, so I really want this one to hit. Again, I don't know what this one's really about. I just requested it, not thinking I would get it when I saw who it was by. So, 10 years ago, aspiring singer-actress Scout Sage lost the only thing that mattered, her sister Georgia. Ever since Georgia's mysterious death at a Hollywood party, Scout's done her best to honor her memory, clawing her way through the industry and collecting a network of climbers along the way. Fellow hot girls in stilettos with cutthroat ambition, a new Hollywood order. But when a slew of targeted murders makes headlines across LA, all pointing to Scout as the killer, she turns overnight from a mid-tier pop star to the world's most famous alleged murderer. Now everything she's worked to build, including the justice she wants for Georgia, will fall apart unless Scout can prove she's not guilty. Meanwhile, the young and unusual detective assigned to her case, herself no stranger to tragedy, begins to unearth secrets not even Scout knows, let alone her millions of new fans. Particularly about the way Georgia's death connects to an even older pattern of crimes long hushed over in Hollywood. I didn't realize it was like a Hollywood-inspired one, so that's definitely going to be interesting. Next 2 I also don't own. I just have the holds coming in from the library and I'm really excited about them. I have one is The Anniversary by Alex Finley. 3 maybe books from Alex Finley before, and they're never like, well, I think the first one I really loved and then the other 2 were good, just not amazing, but this one has a really good premise and I do like the audiobooks for all of his books. The tagline is every year he comes for them. On one fateful night in 1992, the lives of 2 17-year-olds are changed and intertwined forever. Quinn, a boy from the wrong side of the tracks, is arrested after he innocently tries to break up a fight but ends up nearly killing someone. Jules' high school royalty survives an attack by the elusive and terrifying Mayday Killer, a serial predator who strikes every May 1st in Midwestern small towns. A year later, she's struggling with trauma and guilt, tormented by one question: why was I spared? Quinn is newly released from juvenile detention and returns home to that doesn't make sense. I don't even know what they're trying to say. To fresh the unsolved murder of his mother. Not sure. Over the next decade, their lives are revisited on a single day each year, May 1st. As secrets unravel and the paths of Quinn and Jules collide, 2 mysteries edge closer to the truth. All the while, the Mayday killer is still out there, and the clock is racing toward another May 1st. Sounds a little spooky. There's a countdown. We know what's coming, but we don't know what's coming. That one sounds really interesting to me. And then I have a sequel, which is Broken Dove by Danny Francis. This is the sequel to Silver Elite. I loved Silver Elite last year, so I'm really excited to be picking up Broken Dove finally. I don't know if I've heard much thoughts on it, if it's like a good sequel or not. I haven't been having the best success with fantasy sequels recently, so I think that's why I'm kind of nervous. If you don't know what Silver Elite is about, it is in a dystopian world where psychic abilities are basically a death sentence, and our main character, Ren, does have them, and she would be considered unmodified, and probably one of the most powerful ones, which has led her to live a lot of her life in hiding, and until one careless mistake leads to her being sent to Silverblock, which is like a training kind of facility, where she decides to attack them from the inside and help with the rebellion from the inside against the continent. I think that's what they're called. And then, of course, she's having a hard time resisting the commanding officer, Cross. I'll definitely need to read a spoiler kind of thing before I go into the second one, because I don't really remember where we ended off on the first one. I think I have a bad memory. I don't know. I don't remember what happens in books, even if I loved them. This is a very anticipated book for me. It is Please Don't Go by E. Salvador. It's the Midnight Strike series. I didn't know what this one was called. I know people are loving this one. Specifically, people that love the Windy City series, which I'm a lover of the Windy City series. So people are comparing like how good that series is to this one, and then this will be the next favorite sports romance series. But I think this one's a lot more than just a sports romance. I think it deals a lot with grief between both of our main characters. It looks like they bump into each other on Christmas Day by accident. They're never really meant to see each other again, but some connections just keep on happening, and they keep finding their way back to each other for some reason. And I think there's like this struggle of they're both grieving, and they maybe don't feel like they deserve or should have love at this time. It sounds so good, but also like it may destroy me in different ways. So I'm really excited for this one. Plus this cover, beautiful. Speaking of the Windy City series, I have In Her Own League by Liz Tomforty. Now technically this is not a part of the Windy City series. It's kind of a spin-off. We follow Emmett and Reese, who are in, I think Emmett's in the third and fourth book, and then Reese is introduced in the fourth book. Emmett is the coach of the MLB team in Chicago, and Reese is the new and first female owner of a MLB team. Like I said, she gets introduced a little bit in the fourth book, so we see a little bit of them together in the fourth book, but barely. But the parts that I saw, I want more of. Emmett on his own, amazing in those books. Reese, the small parts we saw of her, love. So I know that this is gonna be good. I don't really know the full plot. I know what we saw in Play Along is a lot of bickering and them not getting along. So I feel like there's gonna be some of that in this. Based on discussions in Play Along as well, I'm kind of thinking that maybe a subplot of this will be people kind of waiting for Reese to fail because she is the first female owner, and she'll be put under a microscope, and dating the head coach might not come across the best way because people are haters. So I'm wondering if that will be kind of a big part of the tension. I have 2 Freida McFadden books on this list. First is The Inmate, which is about a nurse practitioner who is working at a high security, maximum security prison, prison. 3 main rules: treat them with respect, don't get too close, and don't reveal personal information. But turns out, nobody knows this, but she has a very interesting history with an inmate. They were high school sweethearts, and now he's in jail for, I think, a string of murders. And her testimony is what put him in there. This one's gonna be interesting for sure. I think it's gonna be like a really fast-paced read. I'm kind of just on a Freida McFadden kick right now. I don't know why. But the other one is Never Lie. This one was one I had my eye on for quite a while. These newlyweds move into a house that used to be owned by a psychiatrist, but that psychiatrist went missing. And they are now stuck at home because of a snowstorm. And during that, they find these tapes. And the wife starts listening to these. And it's like the doctor's sessions with patients. Lots becomes revealed through these tapes. Puts the puzzle pieces together to maybe... I assume it's going to reveal what happened to the psychiatrist. But some type of mystery is probably going to be solved through these tapes. I'm not going to want to put this down. Which is exactly what I want during summer. Sitting on the beach, sitting outside, and just flying through a book. No better feeling. Now, this one I need to continue on in this series. So I put The Grandest Game on this list. I know this is kind of a spin-off of the Inheritance Games, but this is the next book in the reading order suggested by Jennifer Lynn Barnes. And I need to catch up because I just keep buying the books and not reading them. So I need to pick this up so I continue more. This is kind of a spoiler, but not much of a spoiler for the Inheritance Games. After the main 3 books, they decide to do a game that people can win and participate in, and this is the first book in that kind of idea, and I think we're following the first contestant. It's a really cool idea. I don't know why I haven't picked it up. There's another book in this series coming out in July, and I know I'm just gonna buy it, so better get closer to reading it. And the last 1/2 books in this are part of a series. I was just gonna put my next book in the series on this, but I'm just probably gonna end up binging the rest of the series. It's only 2 books, but so I might as well put them both on this list. But they're, of course, well, technically they're not the last 2 books in the series. I have The Score and The Goal. Yes, I have 2 different editions. I have the old edition of The Deal, the new edition of The Mistake, the old edition of The Score, the new edition of The Goal. I did not know what I was getting because I ordered them from Book Outlet, but whatever. I feel lucky to have some older versions. I need to read, I was just gonna put The Score on, like I said, but I feel like I'll just want to round out this series. Technically, The Legacy is after these, but I have heard that people recommend reading The Legacy if you're gonna read it, because some people say skip it, but some people say to read it after you read the Briar U books as well. So that's what I'm gonna do. I'm not like in a hurry to read that one because people don't even like it anyway. But anyway, doesn't really matter. I want to read these 2 ASAP, especially this one. I have not watched the show yet because I wanted to read this before I got into the show. I know it's like not really big spoilers, but I know the part of this couple story is trickled into the TV series. So I want to read it before I watch that. So that's also motivation for me to read this right away because people are nonstop talking about Off Campus and I want to be a part of the discussion. So this is Dean and Allie's book, and then this is John Tucker, and I don't even know who the girl is. Sabrina. So you will definitely see me reading these this summer. 11 books. I think it's 11 books that I'm excited to get to this summer. Let me know again what's on your radar for this summer. I am hoping to get a lot of reading done this summer, get some more off of my physical TBR, so that's the plan. Spending a lot of time outside reading, just chilling this summer. Sounds like a great idea to me. If you enjoyed it, make sure to subscribe and give it a thumbs up, and I will see you in my next one. Bye!